DVD reviews with Silly Kelly. Yes, and do a DVD from my DVD collection. And just to fill up the last 20 minutes of this tape. Well, memory card. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be 20 minutes long or not. But this Ghost in the Shell, 25th anniversary edition. Yeah. It's based on a manga. It's an anime. Very similar to Akira. I think it's the same guy. Sure. This was the one. This is the version that also has the English dub. And actually, the English dub on this one is better than the other dub because they kind of they kind of got the dubbing from like closed captioning, and they got some errors in it, as some people pointed out on Amazon. But if you want to just see the Japanese dub and see the real Japanese, if you speak Japanese, I don't. Very little. I learned it from watching anime and manga. I probably got it all wrong. But here, they're making a movie, a live-action movie out of this. They stopped making the live-action Akira movie, and they're making a live-action this one. Scarlett Johansson. So I decided to do a Ghost in the Shell DVD review. The movie runs about 88 minutes long, and it's the uncut, unrated version, which includes the gory scene where the accident happens and the bad guy splatters all over the side of the window of the car, and it also includes the robot lady getting ripped apart and all the muscles coming out and stuff as she opens a tank. Yeah, that's all in there. Yeah, there's another version of this that's 6.1 that was released later. So it was a special edition where they went back in 2.0 and they added new effects to it. They added CG stuff to it, and they made it all slightly more yellowy and repaired all of the fixed all the stuff. That's not as good because it's a different movie at that point. They changed several scenes, about 30 scenes. This one is the one to get. This is the definitive one. Ironically and strangely enough, it's labeled the 25th anniversary edition. Now, they must be thinking of the manga, which came out in 1989, because this that came out in 2014 would have been the 20th anniversary edition. Yeah, not the 25th, the 20th anniversary. Came out in 94. The Ghost in the Shell 2, better known as Innocence, came out in 2004. And it's not canonical as a sequel. It's sort of a follow-up, or almost a reboot, really. This is Ghost in the Shell. This movie is heavily influenced by the works of the Necromancer, the Neurmancer, and all the cyberpunk genre, and because it is in Terminator as well, and Terminator 2 a little bit. It's heavily influenced by various sources like that. The music is poppy and weird and trippy. I can kind of tell what they're singing about, consciousness and Zen and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a cyberpunk story. It's similar to Johnny Mnemonic. And millennials watch this will go, it's ripping off the Matrix. No, it isn't. It's before the Matrix. The Matrix was heavily influenced by this movie. The Matrix is basically ripping off parts of this movie. It's the other way around. The Matrix is a cyberpunk story, so you could say that, well, they're both ripping off Necromancer, which would be accurate. They're both ripping off Necromancer. The green imagery in this one is in the Matrix. It's also in a little known movie called Blade Runner from 1984. And there's a lot of similarities to Blade Runner in this movie. There are two cops, like in Blade Runner. The male protagonist is suggested to be possibly partly cybernetic, like in Blade Runner. And what's funny is the director of this movie didn't know that there was a version of Blade Runner where Deckard is revealed to possibly be a replicant. He just went with the logical conclusion and assumed that the Deckard character should be a replicant. So he is in this version. So it's the future. It's the far off year 2028, and in the far off future, it's after World War III. There's been an apocalypse. Things have been blown up, and this futuristic cyber noir city has been built on the ruins of Japan, which has become a superpower, and it's run by these corporate guys. Not so much a mafioso as in the sequel, but more like corporate guys. Political intrigue and autocracy and all that kind of stuff that's happening in the current timeline right now. Like the corporations running everything, and the rich and powerful running everything. Kind of seems that way. But we don't have cybernetic people yet. Our AI is not very good yet. We don't have realistic robots that turn into stuff. This movie has an incredible amount of TNA in it, but because they're robots, they get by the censors that way. No people care because it's Japan, but there's a lot of TNA, but she's a robot. Well, what's going on is basically it's a buddy cop story, and there's an enhanced humanoid cyborg male cop. And there's I'm not going to go into the dubbing. They have some voices from Robotech, G.I. Joe, and Transformers in it, because the dubbing is all right. It's okay. You can watch that, but because it was cleaned up by Manga Entertainment to be the best it could possibly be for the 20th, not 25th anniversary. The movie is about this cops, and they have the guy, the male and the female cop. The female cop is a cyborg robot. She's a robot, basically. She has what's called a shell memory inside her. She's got a shell, a ghost in the shell. She's got a ghost and a shell. The ghost is her soul, and the shell is the body. And with Zen, very trippy kind of deal. And she does have blue eyes, like Scarlett Johansson, but no, not really. We'll see. We'll see if that works. But easier to. I don't know how they're gonna. Well, but anyway, the story is that there's a hacker by the name of the Puppet Master, and he's broken into all the shell robots in town, and he's like messing with them. He messes with the garbage men cyborgs, and he makes them think stuff is going on, and one of them has false memories, and they're programmed to assassinate a politician. They have to stop him, like the Manchurian Candidate, and they have to go out and stop it, and Blade Runner, and they have to stop the hacker, the Puppet Master. And I'm sure you've probably all seen it, but go out and see it. There will be spoilers in the review. It's kind of violent. There's some exciting stuff in it. That's PG-13 violent stuff. It's not that bad. Considering what's on HBO nowadays, it wouldn't be. It's not for little children, though. I'd say teenagers. It is really PG-13 for a reason. They wouldn't get it, for one thing. And maybe the sophisticated ones would. I don't know, but it's an odd picture. The cyborgs go after the Puppet Master. They spend the whole story trying to find them. There's a double cross in the main headquarters when they find a destroyed cyborg that turns up, and the cyborg turns out to have, cyborg lady turns out to have the Puppet Master inside her. And then the bad guys try to break her out of the prison, and they escape. They blow up part of it, and they're on their way out. They're bad guy terrorists. And they get out, and the good guys go after them, and there's this big fight. And then they're going out, and they're fighting the bad guy, and we have a cat on the set. Cat. Okay, we're going to put the cat down. And, so then there's another fight when the cops chase him down to this large, what amounts to a natural history museum, where the bad guy has constructed a walking tank squid thing. It's got maybe not a squid. It's got 4 feet leg things, and it's a big battle tank from either Robotech or Neon Evangelion. Neon Evangelion came later. Robotech came earlier in the 80s. So Macross. So yeah, there's a lot of crossover here. Funny that some of the voices were the American dub were Robotech people, but that was later. The story, yeah, it culminates in that big fight at the end, and the robot lady has to break open the tank, and she's wounded, mortally wounded doing that, but her consciousness is still there. She still wants to merge with the puppet master. The good guy shows up, the other partner shows up, fights off the rest of the bad guys, and they kill the puppet master robot, but not before she manages a download into her consciousness from him. So she becomes partly him, and at the end, she's downloaded into her consciousness is downloaded into a Chiribi girl sex robot that he got a hold of on the black market. He said, but only because they couldn't find one in the town, and they figured, oh, this is a good cover because he could be this girl robot, and it's a good cover. And it ends with them like deciding to hide out village. The sequel or follow up, she's an adult again, and they go on adventures. Gets another body. It's just sort of a sequel follow up. But the early one, she's definitely an adult creature of some kind, cybernetic creature. The animation in it is spectacular. It's a Japanese animation. They didn't need to redo it. They didn't need to do that. It works on its own. Ghost in the Shell. It's similar to Akira in the animation. Might be the same people. It's very visually stunning. Redoing it in CGI a couple of years, 10 years ago, was stupid. Didn't look that good. I know they wanted to, and I was like, oh, let's do it again. It's like, why not just do the whole thing over again? Why fix parts of it? Just shoot it over again. But anyway, they did. And yeah, so it's an odd movie. I liked it. It's a film noir movie, cyberpunk movie. Yeah, so it's good for your collection of your noir manga Japanese anime movies. And yeah, I recommend it for it's kind of like the idea of Zen cyborg people and stuff, which has been in the lexicon for many years. The idea of doing that. Nowadays we have cars that are not supposed to drive themselves, but that have. But there's some of that in here. It's not supposed to be autopilot, but they're kind of treating it that way. It's supposed to be auto assist. And also our version of AI is nothing like Ghost in the Shell, and it's not there yet. We figured out how to do computer programs that are fast and everything, but we have not figured out. And I like this older one better, with the green screens and the old green dialogue and the old fashioned CAD monitor stuff. It just looks more 80s style. I know they wanted to update it, but this one, I like that idea. I like going back to that. It's like the original Alien. Would they just update the computer screen because it looks like a CT monitor? Ooh, it's like, nah, that's fine. But yeah. So yeah, it goes to show. Yeah, and you'd think that it's like a dirty movie or something. It's not. It's a film noir movie. There's no sex in it. It's just violence. Yeah, which is a reflection of the current culture, where violence in the media is cooler than sex. People freak out about sex in the media. They don't freak out about violence in the media. You're fine with violence, blow up stuff in the media. But that's a rant for another story. This is space opera. Film noir, space opera, cyberpunk. The closest thing we have to AI computers is our Sauris on our cell phone, Magellan direction finders and stuff like that. Just look up, Google search or something automatically. But that's not really a Ghost in the Shell AI thing. I don't think we're that close to that kind of event, or where we have an artificial intelligence like HAL or something. We're not that close. We thought we would be back in the 90s, even in the 60s with HAL, but we weren't. We never 2001, but we never quite got there yet. We could, I suppose, but we haven't. But robots, the androids and sex bots are looking pretty uncanny valley realistic nowadays. So it's kind of creepy. Like yeah, so I've seen pictures of them and on the internet and stuff. It's like as soon as they invent one with bunny ears, Mark's Cards would be up for that. But yeah, I'm sure he could order one for bunny ear for a humanoid one, I think. So this is hot robot chick running around. Psst, that's a robot. Of course, she kicks ass. I remember years ago watching this with Cards and Jim Tacon and Tim. I think all three of us, all four of us, we watched it, and Jim not getting parts of it because the middle of it gets slower because it's a noir crime drama. But the robot kicks ass, you know. But sure, there's no Neo in it, although it does mirror the Matrix trilogy in that at the end of the Matrix trilogy, the Neo is gone, but there's a little girl that comments on Neo changing the world and the universe and whatever. And the robot chick in this gets turned into a girl at the end, and she comments on the universe and looks off into the sunrise. Same thing. Yes, the Wachowski siblings copied this movie. But anyway, there we go.